Stick around, this is God's country. There's God's country, right? Of course. And then there's also another place, and that place is called God's Hyundai. Have you ever heard of God's Hyundai?
Nope.
Nope.
You've never heard of God's Hyundai?
But you're going to tell me.
I can't believe you guys have never heard of. Can't believe you never heard of God's Hyundai. Thought Chad Lee was the only professional recording artist around here, huh?
Is this you?
Just wait. That's embarrassing. Right outside of this one church town, there's an asphalt road to a whole lot of savings. Got a lease running out. You need a new one now. Go to God's Hyundai. It's like for a car and for your soul. You pray for rain, and now his price is falling. You want warranty? How about eternal? You want to get safe? I guess y'all need God's Hyundai. I saw the sign on
Low pitchy.
99.95. Get yourself a new ride. You got good credit or bad at all. He'll
If you will.
save the hottest deals in town. Uncle Coat Paint Protect. Yeah, it's all included now. He'll save your eternal soul, boy, for $0 down. This is God's Hyundai. Listen, these songs I come up with are stupid, but every once in a while there's like a little gem in there. And I got to tell you, he'll save your soul for $0 down. That's money.
Maybe next summer you can open for Weird Al when he comes to town.
God, that would just be a dream come true. But also, they wouldn't do that. They're not going to put two parody guys together. See, here's the deal about Weird Al, okay? We're speaking with Brother B. You can see them now, Facebook.com/BluffsCountry, YouTube.com/That's Just Nelson. And Chad Lee of the Storytellers Acoustic Jam. That's going to happen on Thursday night with Pink Ribbon Rodeo at the Voodoo Lounge. But I don't know where was I at? We were talking about the parody. No, we were talking about the dang parody songs.
Yeah, and Weird Al.
Weird Al. Thank you for the Weird Al.
That's why I'm co-hosting.
I hate all these other guys that do parody songs because they do too much. Like everyone thinks that they're Weird Al, okay? And you're not. Listen, I love doing parody songs, and I'll do them to the day I die. Even before Weird Al, I found out my first parody song was my dad hearing the lyrics to Bad Moon on the Rise. There's a bathroom on the right. He was singing that to me way before I ever heard of Weird Al, okay?
Still how I sing it live.
Right. There's a bathroom on the right.
That's how we sing it live.
So parody is in my soul, but there's something different about Weird Al that a lot of people don't key into because most people who are doing parody songs are not musical artists. They're just schmoes like me who go and find YouTube karaoke beds. They call it music beds. You just go find the karaoke music for these songs,
right?
And then you go and sing over them with your poor lyrics, right? Whereas Weird Al plays instruments. Weird Al is a musician. Like most of it's accordion, you know what I mean? And it's like very, but it's still like he is a musician. So like, I don't know, it's just a little bit different. So to me, when Weird Al will parody a song, it's fine that he parodies the whole song and it's 3 minutes and you got a chorus and then there's another chorus, right? But for me, there's no need for you to do a parody song with like a chorus. You're not saying anything new, dude. And you're supposed to just be funny.
Right.
So I don't know. I like the Weird Al. I would love to be of that talent level. I mean, God almighty. Just the money. Can you imagine? Right. Weird Al money. Have you seen that thing he does now for Cameo?
I haven't seen Weird Al in a long time.
He does this thing for Cameo where he does like a birthday announcement or like you can buy it from his website or whatever. So he must have like filmed 1,000 different names. Because you can see where the cut happens. It's like he starts out this generic piece of birthday video, and then it cuts to this one area where you could tell that he's just said 1,000 different names.
Dropping the names.
And like redoing the whole thing every time. Amanda! And I'm sure if he gets a unique one that he's never done before, he'll recut it later for the kind of money he's bringing in on it. But
right.
Anyway, doesn't matter. You want to hear one more? You know who Hardy is, right?
Yep.
Yes, the musician Hardy. He did a song called Jack. It was a bottle of Jack Daniels, right? It was singing a song to to somebody growing up, right? Don't worry, kid. I was there for your old man. I'm here for you, right? I'm a bottle of Jack Daniels. This is a little different song. Hey, kid, let me introduce myself. I was a friend of your dad's when he ran out for milk. I help you party through the night and the weekend. Have you ever wanted to see the Shadow Man? Ooh, shadow people. That means you stayed up too long. It's gonna be a good time right here, boy. You know we start small overall selling you tools, and then you break into construction sites for copper too. Once you collect all of the money, you can call the guy, and when the smoke hits you, you'll be high as a kite. So steal from your mama, blame it on the devil. It's you're probably gonna just means you need a little. All I cause is problems, monkey on your back. I will make you shameless. By the way, my name is. What is crack? Did you know you can take Bluffs Country everywhere with the Bluffs Country app? Whether you have an that. There we go. And we'll play some more of your music here when we come back out of this here. Get, oh, is it finally ready? Download this. My Swami music. My psychic music is ready. We're still talk. You can still talk to the audience. I don't know. Let's see. Bradley's here. Hi, Bradley. But we are live and it's recording too, so you go back and be able to watch that as well. Awesome. Rid of my music bed. So awaken my psychic powers.
So you're telling me I should go back and
My psychic powers.
rewatch this show tonight instead of reruns of
Well,
Chicago Fire?
Right. Is that Bobby Wall out there? I hope so. Let's see here. It's from Spotify. I just love the heavy breathing. What are they going to do? Do they have James Earl Jones's voice in AI now? Do you think?
Probably.
Because I thought I thought there was some kind of deal he signed like just a year ago or something where they could use his voice in perpetuity and beyond the grave. And like, I thought there was some big deal. Dude, there's a program now I could teach my voice to AI.
Yep.
So like if I could do it for $22 a month, for my subscription, I think they could do it with James Earl Jones, right?
Right.
You guys Star Wars fans?
No.
I'm not going to say no, but
that's
I'm
all right. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to go on and on then about the scene that was so beautiful, and it doesn't matter.
Well, I am your father scene.
No, well, that's actually the. Do you know what the actual line is? What is the line in that scene?
Isn't it Luke, I am your father?
Sure isn't.
Okay, what is it?
Sure isn't.
I think you've talked about this before.
I'll talk about this to anybody who'll listen. Here's the deal. The guy who played Darth Vader at first didn't know he wasn't the voice of Darth Vader. There's a man inside the suit. That's not James Earl Jones.
Right.
It's what's his David Prowse, I think his name is. So he thought he was Darth Vader. And they're like, you're not Darth Vader. You're David Prowse. You're just tall. So what he did was the second movie, he just delivered all of his lines all screwed up and deadpan, and like you had to play off of it. Look at that. We got Bobby Wall coming in. Bobby Wall. Bobby Wall. Be right out there, Bobby. I'll come get you and grab you in, okay? Love that. Love him. So the movie.
I'm going to interrupt. I want to know what the over-unders are on Bobby saying, hey, son, today.
Oh, let's see. Probably going to have to set that line at what, like 5, right? And still probably take the over.
I got a lot of Bobby Wall stories for you, too.
I'm ready for it, man. I love him, dude. And I've only heard legend tell of him. Like, because my old man knows him.
Anybody that knows me knows I used to play a lot of competitive softball.
Uh-huh.
And we all know Bobby played a lot of competitive softball.
Yeah, competitive, non-competitive, hyper-competitive, semi-competitive. Like, yeah, it's all I've heard. This guy's like enshrined.
You know, you look out here and you see this nice guy out here.
I know. He's an animal is what I heard.
But beat his softball team, and he was a Rays.
So anyway, let me wrap this up so you understand, so you'll know. Okay. The only people on set who knew that Darth Vader was his father at the time, even though Vader means father in German, we found out later. All of us stupid. We only know one language, so it doesn't matter. We were all tricked. The only people on the set who knew that Darth Vader was his father were Mark Hamill and the director. That's it. They gave a different line to the guy playing Darth Vader.
Really?
And so the line is, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father, did he?
Okay.
And Luke says, he told me that you killed him.
Yes.
And what no one on set heard, but Mark Hamill knew to react to was, no, I am your father. Wow. And so until the movie came out, nobody even knew. The editors, obviously. But Mark Hamill, it's the first time they ever paid him to keep a secret.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh. And so they had the guy, even Darth Vader didn't know what he said. And so imagine I would love to know what he said. That's the one thing I don't know. Because why would you all of a sudden start reacting the way he was reacting? You know what I mean? Like, what did he say? Doesn't matter. But yeah, see, there you go. You didn't think you were going to get all goosebumpy about Star Wars, and yet there we are.
I feel like I learned something this morning.
Hey, man, you know what I mean? And that's all I care about. Is that you walk away a bigger, better person.
Yep.
The things we learn on Nelson in the Morning.
Amen. What'd you say the new one is? With you?
With you. Yeah. That just dropped 2 weeks ago.
All right. Let's play the new one. No F-bombs in it, right? It's clean.
No.
We're good?
Yep.
You right with the Lord? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need no F-bombs. F-bombs on the camera, fine. But see, that's where it blurs the line. Because the cam is one place, and then the radio is a different place. Governed by the FCC. Not to be confused with the FTC. That would be a trade commission. That's for disclosing things like that Chad Lee gave us a big backpack full of cocaine to play his music. You know, it'd be something like that. He didn't, and I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore.
And you're a better person for it.
Oh my God, I'm a liver person for it. God almighty.
When did they get rid of payola?
Oh, 70s and
Yep.
70s.
Wow.
I mean, they
Wow.
never really got rid of it, but they just
Right.
made you like have to be more
You
creative
can't
about
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
Not that way.
I mean, I'm sure into the 80s, there were still big plates of cocaine
Sure.
being passed around for platinum records from Motley Crue. You know what I mean? Like, thanks for the spins, guys.
This is Nelson in the Morning on Bluffs Country 106.5.
About to play another song from Mr. Chad Lee, who you can see at facebook.com/bluffscountry or youtube.com/that's just Nelson. Part of the acoustic Storytellers jam sessions with Chad Lee and friends. Those friends include Lucas Minor, who I incorrectly called Lucas Minor Music. I was just like, I don't know, man, that's what he wants to be called.
No, I did send it to you that way.
It's all right. It's all right. I should have inferred. And then Mason, right? Mason Michaels?
Mason Michaels.
Mason Michaels. I like it when it's alliteration. So much easier. It's Mason Michaels. So Eminem and Mason Michaels. Doesn't that it just sounds country, doesn't it?
It does.
Pleased to meet you, ma'am. I'm Mason Michaels. You know what I mean? And very polite. Like, I can't see a Mason Michaels being a jerk.
And the funny part is he's not. I mean, he is what you are persona.
Uh-huh.
That is exactly how Mason Michaels is.
Yeah, he should be. That's his name. Like, that's a name you have to live that one way. Chad Lee, he could be a bad boy. He could be a saint. You never know. You never know. That's an either way name.
People think I own a chain of Chinese restaurants.
So tell me a little bit about this new song, Chad, with you. You said you released it just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, just hit I think 2 weeks ago. This one I wrote for my wife. I wrote this song for her.
Oh.
Everybody thinks I write a lot of songs for her, and I don't, but there's a few of them out there.
What's wrong with that if
So-
he does?
It's his wife.
Yeah, what's wrong
well,
with the
you
guy
know,
having
just
a
don't-
muse?
You know, when you're a singer-songwriter, you just don't walk around the house, singing to your spouse all the time.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You know, I know Lori, and I bet she'd appreciate you walking around the house
Probably
singing
I don't
her
know.
love songs.
Yeah, she'd tell me to shut up pretty
Maybe
quick.
more- probably
She
picking
gets
his
annoyed.
socks
I tap all the time.
up.
I'm
Oh,
always,
God,
I
you
always got
fidget.
a beat in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Stop tapping.
She says, I'm going to
And I'm
beat your
like,
head.
"Ah."
So let's go with you with Chad Lee. I don't know what the range is, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to talk. So it's Bluffs Country 106.5. Getting ready for that acoustic Storytellers jam Thursday night. Pink Ribbon Rodeo. Bluffs Country.
The candles burning, sun goes down. Feel your heart as you only I care about right now.
Get out of town.
Riding here with your head on my chest.
I'm playing this so that the stream can hear it.
Feel your breath, I think, yeah.
But the microphones are not going out on work, so I just turned the microphones because I just.
Just don't care about tomorrow.
I wanted to talk trash about that.
It's all about
Nailed it.
this feeling. This feeling. I pray it never goes away. The passion, the love we're in. It's a beautiful thing. There's nothing I'd rather do than spend this moment with you. If you, baby, with you. Coffee's when sun comes up. I wake up with your warm butt against me. It's all tangled up. Wake up like this rest in my house, baby. That would be amazing. There's no care about it now. Right here is where I'd rather be apart from this man. This and that. I pray it never goes away. The passion. It's a beautiful moment. There's nothing this small. Still second of life. So let's spend this time. This moment, this feeling. I pray it never goes away.
Take it off, man.
Beautiful. This it's small.
Chadley, with you.
The softer side of Chad.
I love it. So, Aaliyah on the Facebook feed said the song is so sweet. It's so cute that it's gross. She's like, yeah. Though I love the warm butt line. I was like, or your cold feet. You got to have the cold feet and the warm butt. Like and somehow they can get both of them on you, and they stay the same temperature throughout the night. How's the feet not heat up? You've been under the covers the whole night.
Right.
Got Shelton's actually on the feed. Wes says, "What's up, brother B?"
What's up, Wes? How you doing, buddy?
Bradley likes the hoodie that Chad's wearing that you can see right now at
Oh,
facebook.com/BluffsCountry.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's my favorite hoodie.
Is it?
Yeah.
What'd you get? The sock squatch.
I'm mountain bike, so
Oh, okay.
It's a mountain bike.
It's a
That's
it's a
what
mountain bike.
That's what I'm doing when I
You
leave
got
here.
the fat tires on the bike over there, don't you?
That's what I'm doing when I leave
He's a
here. I'm gonna head
he's
out
a
to
professional.
Lewis and Clark and
Shelton, old friend of all of ours as well, Chris Shelton. He plays music.
Chris
throughout
is
the
on?
city.
Hey,
Yeah,
Chris.
Yeah, Shelton.
What's up, bro?
Shelton actually, 20 years ago, he didn't realize it. And I don't pay him any royalties for it, but like Shelton gave me basically my entire morning show intro. Like this. Hold on, where's my? Shut that off. Right, so this is all Shelton. He wrote it when I was on a different radio.
It's Nelson time. It's Nelson time.
Nelson time.
It's Nelson.
Sure is, Shelton.
It's Nelson time. Oh,
So stupid.
You know, the funny quick story with Chris is, Chris is one of the artists. Also, I wanted to be part of this year's acoustic jam, and unfortunately, due to prior obligations that he had, that he's gonna miss out. But I'm gonna call you, bro.
All right.
Quick fact: did you guys know that me and Chris did a duo together for several years?
I did. See, I thought so. Did you also live together? I thought you guys were roommates.
I would not live with him.
That's fine. That's awesome.
No offense, Chris.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, we had a duo that we did together for.
No, I know.
It was pretty cool.
I knew that you guys had worked together and you were buddies. I mean, everybody knows everybody around here.
Here's a funny story. He's like, "What should we name our duo?" And I said, "I don't know." And we were I think we were maybe in Okoboji or something. And I was telling him about this fishing story, and where I had snagged this beaver when I was fishing. And he's like, "That's it." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "No, that's it. That's our name." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "We're snagging beaver." So
that does not surprise me.
You want to know another quick fact about Shelton?
Hughes, hold on. We'll get a Shelton fact.
We should just bring him in. Where's he at?
Yeah. Listen, not right now. We will. We're gonna bring Bobby Wall in next. That's why I brought him in, so you could kind of hang out with him too. We could talk softball and really anything the man wants to talk about. I will talk about paint drying with him at this point. He's maybe the coolest character I've met, and he's one of those dudes that lives up to the hype. Like everybody tells you, watch out for old Bobby. He's pretty awesome, and you go, he can't be that awesome, right? And he is.
It's kind of like, you get started talking to him, and you better have about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, well, we do 71 degrees for the high. It's 48 degrees currently. Let's find out what the traffic looks like. Oh, my God almighty. Everybody's stopping and listening to the show. Stop and go traffic on Dodge Street, eastbound between 180th and 144th. Accident on the right shoulder, I-80 westbound at 60th Street. Stop and go traffic backed up to 24th. And then stop and go traffic on the JFK northbound between Childs and F Street. Some other slow goings up and down 680 as you're making the exchange all the way to Dodge Street, northbound and southbound lanes experiencing slow traffic, as well as I-80 eastbound between 72nd and Q. It's all thanks to Pizza Ranch, home of the legendary buffet, featuring pizza and the country's best chicken. Stop in today and see what everybody's saying. Pizza Ranch, that's my favorite buffet.
Hello, my name is Kelly S. King with Kitchens Redefined.
All right, Bobby, come on back, bud. Hope you don't mind, but we're having a big old party here.
Morning. No Chad.
You know me.
Yeah.
It's been a few years. How you been, Bob? Still doing anything softball related?
Helping the high school team. I went out and did some hitting clinics and practice and stuff to get pink clinic today and tomorrow.
Oh, Bobby Wall was good for some hitting tips.
I'll have you sit right there. And then I'm going to get you on my camera, too. If you don't mind.
That's fine. I'm not good with the ear sets, so I never can hear out of them.
If you don't want the headphones, you don't have to wear them. They're right there.
Yeah. Hear you guys.
Yeah, you're fine.
There's more cameras in here than a Super 8.
Where do you think I keep these cameras at?
How's Jackie?
Actually, try listening now.
Well, good.
Just send this thing out on our Facebook. So I didn't know you were involved with these guys too.
Yeah, when about 8-9 years ago, I've been fundraising since 2008. And about 8 years ago, I started this project, and it's something that what used to be softball taking up all my free time. It's now this.
Fundraising.
Yeah, fundraising for. Yeah, we do a whole bunch of different events through the year. We did a sand volleyball tournament in May. We just did a putt-putt tournament last weekend. We got this acoustic thing coming up. We're doing a bowling fundraiser later in November, and then I'm doing a pancake feed right before Christmas.
I tried to call you earlier. I didn't know. Well, yesterday, but all the phones were off. Is it softball, optical? What do you want to talk about?
It's Nelson in the morning. He'll take it He'll take it 6 different directions.
Yeah, we'll take it wherever it goes. We're gonna talk softball first. Yeah, we're gonna talk about. Oh yeah, the old man went on and on and on about this, that, and the other. All I hear about is the legend of Bobby Wall. I want to hear about it. Yeah, and we'll give him a little. You got to give a little shout out to my old man because my old man knows about it. I say that respectfully, okay, my old man. Okay, I don't mean you, old man, but he's my old man. I say that with much respect, but yeah, he goes, "Oh, you got to go talk to Bobby Wall." I go, "Tell me the story."
Oh, there's a lot of Bobby Wall stories.
Tell me the tales of Bobby Wall.
Softball Bobby. There's wine tasting Bobby.
Oh, and see, that's where I think my old man connects on it more is wine tasting Bobby.
You'd always see Bobby around the ball field all calm and cool. But then to see Bobby after he'd been to a wine testing, you're like, wait a second, that ain't the same guy I just played against.
Between old Carla James. And your local news? Well, it's Carla James, and it's brought to you by the Potawatomi Arts, Culture, and Entertainment Center. They call it PACE for short. The PACE Arts Center, strengthening, developing, and promoting arts, cultural, and historical institutions, as well as organizations and activities in Council Bluffs, Potawatomi County, and throughout Southwest Iowa. You can see their full calendar of classes and events at paceartsiowa.org. Carla James.
For Bluffs Country News, I'm Carla James.
Then we'll go right after Carla James. We're just going to hit the ground running.
Can you get that microphone set up?
Yeah, you just kind of want to talk right at it.
So it's right. Oh yeah, right here. You're not gonna use the camera.
Oh, okay. Look at that Chad V. He's a host too.
He's a true professional.
I produce podcast programs.
Right.
Well, let's swing that.
Yeah, and then just kind of keep near it. I'll turn the volume up as I need to, but just if you're going to be soft, you want to be kind of close to it is all.
Okay.
You don't got to swallow it.
Not breakfast yet, so.
Right.
It's not.
I got the Marcus Dupree diet. I don't eat before noon. Afternoon, I don't quit eating.
I might have to try that one. So
That's
at what point?
awesome.
So at what point do you stop then for the day? Is it 6, 8, or up until you go to bed?
Go to bed.
There we go.
I mean, I lost a ton of weight when I was doing just like not quite like a keto diet, but just watching the carbs. Like I was keeping the carbs under 40 even, I think, just 40 carbs a day. But then I intermittent fasted. So I wouldn't eat before 2 and I wouldn't eat after 8.
You know, it's funny you say that because when I was in the bulk of my weight loss, once a month for about a year, we'd do a 60-hour fast. We didn't eat from like Sunday night, 9 o'clock, till like Wednesday morning.
It's too much.
And you want to talk about a hangry giant.
I bet.
Come Wednesday, I was going to rip somebody's head off.
I'm not even sure that's healthy.
It can't be.
Nah.
The intermittent
You have to
fasting
start
worked,
with
man.
yourself.
I was obsessed with it. I went from 408, 410 pounds. I went down to 299, and then I got into a relationship, and I got comfortable, and I got happy. I ballooned back up over 400 again. My heaviest was 427.
Oh, Jesus. Heart
Yeah,
attack.
big boy. You'd think, nope, I'm unstoppable, Bobby. I'm built different.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not diabetic. Should be. Not diabetic.
So are you on the radio every morning between?
Between 6 and 10.
6 and 10. Do you have to work a regular job too, or then, or just?
I mean, this is the regular job. I got to work extra though. Yeah. Am I being paid enough to afford my lavish lifestyle? No.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. We're gonna go right now.
This is Nelson in the Morning on Bluffs Country 106.5.
And then there was one more. Yeah, we've been talking with Chad Lee and Brother B from the Pink Ribbon Rodeo all morning as we're getting ready for that big event, the Storytellers Acoustic Jam, which is going to happen to benefit Project Pinked, and that's Thursday. But the other day, I finally got to go around town a little bit. I'm just trying to introduce myself to business owners. You know, this is a business here too.
How many?
The radio station.
How many of them kicked you out?
Nah, a lot of them, a lot of them. But I ran a risk because I was told to specifically go and talk to one of these business owners, a business owner who is already supporting our radio station. So it's like, dang it. So I need to find new business. No, I'm just playing. But my father said, you've got to go and talk with Bobby Wall over at Wall Optical. And I go, oh, first off, great. How do you know him? He goes, oh, Bobby and I were good buddies. And I go, I swear to God, Dad, if I walk into this place and I go, I name drop you and his wife, Jackie, I go, if I name drop the two of you and this guy doesn't know who you are, or he punches me because you did something and this is some kind of trick you're pulling on me, I'm going to be upset. Not that I'm going to be able to do anything about it. I think even at 69, the old man could still smack the dog mess out of me. You know what I mean? Because he got those painter's hands, Bobby. He's got those calloused hands still, and man don't even carry no 5-gallon paint buckets anymore. It's just like the crags were broken into those hands years ago. We got Bobby Walling. Good morning, Bobby. How are you, bud?
Very good.
I'm excited to have you in here because you're one of these guys that like your legend precedes you. Like for anybody you talk to, someone in this town knows you. So you're obviously a staple of this community, but they all know you for different reasons. And I think one of the biggest of those reasons, though, is softball. And you kind of undersold. Like when I met you, you were talking a lot about softball so much that like, okay, maybe he kind of knows what he's talking about. You really buried the lead on your acumen for softball. Am I wrong in saying you're enshrined in a Hall of Fame?
Yes, I am. That just means I'm old, though.
Bobby, talk to me about like what you're doing. We can talk Wall Optical in a minute, which is great. It's a beautiful footprint as I kind of walked in there. You know, a lot of times you go into an office like that and you're very intimidating, and there's just like no personality. You know, the first thing you walk into is Bobby, so he's got a big old smile on his face. Like, hey guys, come on in. Let's figure out what the heck you need to get done. But before we get into anything, Wall, what have you been doing locally to help out with softball?
Well, right now, softball's been very good to me, so I try to always give back to the community. I do a little bit of sponsoring here or there. All my teams are retired now, so I don't really have a team that I'm following. But I do a lot of free hitting clinics, and I do specify free because everybody else charges and what have you. So I work with a lot of high school kids. In fact, a lot of the times I even pay for the fees that the place that I go to always charges me. But one good news is I can't get fired. In fact, I'm doing a hitting clinic tonight and tomorrow. Last weekend, I worked with the high school team. I brought a bunch of friends of mine, including one guy that used to coach with the Kansas City Royals and help these young girls out. And trust me, anything you can help them, especially the West End kids, is a big advantage. It helps them a lot and what have you. But softball is one of the greatest games to me in the world. I mean, you can have just what all the young kids call the old man's league, where people just get together and they go out and play for fun.
Sure.
And they have a few beers in between.
Well, that was my old man. Like that's the only exposure I had to softball growing up was he played softball every week. He bowled and he played softball.
And then you move up to some family teams, but then you have a team like a Wall Optical team that I had men, women, and co-ed teams. And the thing with us is we wanted to be the best, so we played state champions, Iowa and Nebraska. But then we go on to the world tournaments every year, and when you get out there, you're playing people that are actually getting paid to play. Their names are on the bats. They're making a lot of money and none of their players are locally. They fly a couple girls from California, a couple guys from California, a couple wherever they come from. So they're basically just a paid for team. And one year my women's team took second in the world, and to be that competitive for 4 days in a row is a heck of a feast. Where the year before I thought we had a better team and we went 1-2. So sometimes you just got to get lucky and what have you. But I think it's very, very good. This time of year is why I'm talking about World Softball Tournaments. This is about when it's going on right now. And the good thing about this is you go out and try to win a World's Championship. But the downfall is as soon as you lose 2 games, you're done for the season. So a lot of pressure.
What do you do to live up to a pressure like that? Just don't think about it. Act like you've
it-
been there before.
Yeah, just you go in and whatever happens, happens, and you go through a depression if you don't win it.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. That's what I wanted to hear a little bit. And I don't ever want anyone to go through a depression, but you know what I mean? I don't want him to be that well adjusted
Well, you know, the
that he's
fun-
just like, well, you know what? Sometimes you're going to lose it, and then there's a life lesson in that. And like, I cannot relate to that.
That's it's a long plane ride when you don't win it.
Right.
I can relate to everything Bobby's saying because I played against Bobby. I've coached against Bobby.
him.
I've umpired when Bobby's a coach on the field, and
Did you get a
know-
call wrong?
oh yeah,
And did he come for you?
oh yeah. You know, and
That is
the neat thing
low-key
about
scary.
the neat thing about Bobby is you get these managers that come stomping across the ball field and want to talk. Bobby just come up, calm, cool, collect. He'd say something to you. I'd say something back. I'd turn my back, walk towards home plate, and go, that darn Bobby Wall. He always got to have something smart to say. And I mean, but it was everything he said is true because like I said, playing against Bobby, when I got into competitive softball myself at that level where he's talking about his wall optical teams, I wanted to be that player that got the chance to play for a Bobby Wall. And what Bobby did for the community of softball is it can't be his arch rival Terry Peterson.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is a growing up who had a umpired that open league that I was part of and played in against Bobby. It was nothing better for my dad to say, "Hey, Tease plays wall tonight," and I would love to go down to the field and just watch. The little back and forth, the bantering between Terry and Bobby, and the things they would do if late in the game Bobby was up on, but Bobby was a tremendous asset to the Council Bluffs, Omaha softball area.
So it sounds like he still is. Guy's doing it for the love of the game. He's paying for kids' batting fees and not charging for anything. Like, what? I'm not that good a person. I love radio. I'm trying to think of what I do radio. Maybe if they came to me, like I would do it for the love of the game. If they came to me and I have the equipment here, anything extra, he's out here going, not only do I not charge, but a lot of times I don't let these kids know this, but I'm also paying the batting cages that I'm going to train these kids at because you're doing it for the love of the game, man. Like I think that's easily a part of, listen, everybody needs to advertise, but you walk into Wall Optical, you see that Wall Optical is a very successful business. Okay, if we could just say it. It's well run, it looks nice, there's nice things there. When you walk into it immediately, you're like, okay, these guys maybe know what the heck they're talking about, right? But to be a part of like the sportscasters club like you are here, just to show local kids, hey, we're in it with you. Like that speaks volumes, honestly. If we can just go on and on and on about you. Listen, it's not going to all be this. I know this is uncomfortable.
I love talking softball.
But softball he loves talking about, but he doesn't want. We don't want to have to necessarily just talk Bobby. Right. But I want to bring you guys into. It's my new favorite thing that happens on the show. And it might be just, you know what? It could be a huge sponsorship opportunity for Wall Optical is all I'm saying. You can see the punchline coming. I can already see the headlines. I can see the advertising now. I'm going to pitch him in just a second. It's a segment that I call
Hold on. Prep punchline.
Prep punchlines. It'll make sense after Thomas Rep. Unforgettable. Bluffs Country 106.5.
It was the 14th of October and that t-shirt.
So it's a skit. It's not a skit, but it is a segment in which for people who aren't any good or people who don't know how to make their own work, there are places called prep services. You will buy prep services, and then some of these prep services will go and find you crazy, wacky stories, right? And then they will write for you punchlines. Like, you know what? You should deliver this story and then read this verbatim, and it's just going to kill. This is going to be the ratings grabber for you. And so now I just do them all because they're awful. I mean, maybe the worst stuff you've ever seen or heard written. It's great. And then the beautiful thing is a lot of times Peggy goes and finds this stuff for me because I refuse to pay for this. I'm not paying. We're not paying for this. We're stealing these. Thank you. Justifiably. She'll write her own free form stuff on here.
Right.
Just like telling me about something that she read in it. And like she doesn't realize that she's got like the best punchline of all of them. Like So incidentally, she's sharing these awful punchlines with me, and she ends up stealing the stage.
Well, it's 'cause it's Peggy.
She's so good. Peggy Sweet is so awesome. But 60 seconds, then we'll come out here and we'll do pour, prep, punchlines, lines.
I'd have to have Chad.
And I like it as there's layers to it. So like that was a really bad intro, right? That was just really poor, the quality of that. And I feel like that adds to the layers of the pork. It's a hero sandwich, man. You can't have the individual bites. Okay, you can chop it if you want, so you're getting a mixed bite of everything, but you got to have all the layers. This is the dumbest show. This is the dumbest show. I hope you weren't expecting anything highbrow, Bobby. I don't know what they told you to expect. Expect even less than that.
I'm West End Council Bluffs. I love it all.
Forgettable.
Oh, it is time now. Thomas Rhett, Unforgettable, Bluffs Country 106.5 for my favorite thing that we do on the radio, and maybe the dumbest thing you've ever heard.
Right now, in some poor mother's sweaty basement, sits a neckbeard and a keyboard, churning out pour, prep, punchline.
Mm-hmm. Punchlines. In case you missed that.
Pour, prep, punchline.
Punchlines. So here's how it goes. Radio stations oftentimes can't afford to pay people who are any good at their job. And so what they will do is they will pay for a service that will then provide content for the person they have on the air. As long as this idiot can just read off a page, in theory, you should have a show based on these prep services. That's what they're called. They also take all of the guesswork out of the funny part of the show for you, in that they write you a slew of punchlines that if I deliver this story and then I deliver these punchlines, you are guaranteed to just be in stitches. You can't believe it.
Pour, prep, punchline.
That's right. Paid a lot of money for that. Okay, so I gotta get my mileage out of it. So this story that we have submitted is a woman is asked for a divorce after 40 days of marriage due to her husband's poor hygiene. Claiming he rarely ever bathed, wore dirty clothes, suffered from bad breath. As a result, after only 40 days, the woman asked for a divorce. When questioned by the counseling center, the husband, Rajesh, who's in India, admitted to bathing only once or twice a month and cleansing by sprinkling his body with water from the river Ganges. Just a little, what do they call that? The W bath? You know what I mean? Where you just, it's the pits. Wherever the skin touches, right? You do that in the old sink.
She didn't know that before she got married?
No, yeah, right? This guy didn't just start doing it. This guy's got that punchline right there. You know what I mean? Like, right. Shortly after her family lodged a dowry harassment complaint at a local police station and requested a divorce, hearing about her decision to divorce him, the husband promised to improve his hygiene and even bathe on a daily basis.
Pour, prep, punchline.
When they said through sickness and health, she didn't think it included smelling sick. I told you. Someone used that. I promise you, somewhere on the planet, someone used that. Like, yeah, this is good. You know, this woman, she filed for a divorce after 40 days of marriage due to her husband's poor hygiene. When they came back for the money, as is customary in India, they got the dowry, you know. He promised to improve his hygiene and even bathe on a daily basis. But the woman's family said they were unwilling to reconcile with him. Who needs cologne when you've got Ganga Jal and a lot of wishful thinking? Is the segment aptly named?
Or prep, punchline.
The funny thing to me is that someone is going to say this stuff here. 40 days of marriage, that's all it took for this woman to say, I got to get out of here. This guy's got poor hygiene. He said, I'll clean up my act, baby. And she says, nah. No, that's not going to work for me. She wanted the love that took her breath away. Not his breath. What does that even mean?
Or prep, punchline.
We'll go on this one. This is the best of all of them. This is the one that I think if I had to pick one of them, it would probably be this. Gotta reset. Every time you're going
Or
to, for your poor prep punchlines, you got to do that. Got to reset. 40 days of marriage, that's all it took. That's all it took when she said, I got to get out of here, man. This guy stinks. He ain't brushing his teeth. He ain't cleaning the old clothes up. Nothing. He said, baby, I'll bathe for you. She says, nah, it ain't going to work out, man. They say love is blind, but apparently it could still smell. Yeah.
punchline.
If you want, I can get you a nice ad package that'll back this segment up there, Bobby Wall. When we come back, we'll talk some more about what's happening with Pink Ribbon Rodeo and, of course, Bobby Wall from Wall Optical and talk some more softball locally and beyond.
Did you know you can take Bluffs Country everywhere with the Bluffs Country app? Whether you have an Android or
I love that segment. I don't care how stupid it is. Poor prep punchlines.
Where's the bathroom?
The bathroom is right through there. So you go out that door and through the double door.
So do you go all over Brandon and try to get fundraising going, or what do you do?
We do a bunch of different things. I mean, we're a low budget fundraiser, but what I do is I reach out to local businesses and ask them maybe $300 to $500 a year, which makes them a community partner, which kind of helps us through the double door. What double door?
Well, it's like you go through one door and then there's another door. It's a double door situation.
Trust me, I get hit up every.
It's not two doors. I'm sorry. That's
Oh yeah, and that's the hard part. I mean, I would kill to have 20, 30 sponsors a year to be, and you're exactly right.
Is he just peeing on the ground in my podcast room?
Huh?
He's just peeing in the corner of my podcast room, isn't he? So, see, I made him work too hard.
So it's just one of those where, I'm fortunate enough. I get about the same 8, 9, 10 community partners back every year. I got one guy that's owns a company called Panther Van Rentals. He's from Holdridge, and I met him because I got season tickets for Nebraska baseball.
Okay.
He sits behind me, and he's like, I mean, it's not going to do me any good being from Holdridge, but you know what? I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you're doing it. And every year, I can guarantee that I'm going to get $300-400 from him. And and some of my problem is, and I said it earlier this morning, I don't like to gouge. I mean, I watch fundraising groups. I watch people
talk to the high school people. They gouge me all the time.
Right.
Oh my gosh. And it's, I want to make it affordable. I want it to be, this fundraising group has survived on small business.
I have a sign at every school except for Little Central, but like those boards or stuff, you get a 5-year contract and
right.
And I guess I've thought of things like that. Can I lock somebody in for 5 years? And to me, I don't know that.
Yeah.
From year to year, I don't know what this fundraiser is going to do.
With and you start getting people my age, you don't know how much longer you have. I mean,
right.
I could do it another 30 years. I could have a heart attack on the way home today.
No joke.
And the funny part about it is, and this might be something to bring up. So, when I first started this, the neatest thing in the world for me was when I first announced this, the first one we ever did, or when we did our check presentation, I had 45, anywhere I say even between 50 and 80 survivors at our first event. I had 30 or 40 survivors that showed up to watch us donate a check. And I watched every year those numbers dwindle. And I was getting frustrated. I was worried that I was doing something wrong. And then all of a sudden, here comes COVID. And those numbers went from dwindling to dead. I very seldom.
Everybody's worried about having money.
Well, and the thing is,
they're not coming out to big public events. So they're still supporting the cause, but they're not showing up in person because they're compromised immune systems.
And that was my inspiration behind this. That's who I talked to. And she's a breast cancer survivor. Her and I worked together at Omaha Steaks for a lot of years. And that was the one thing that she had to remind me is that breast cancer survivors are compromised. They don't want to be in front of big. And that's kind of even
my neighbor does.
And that's kind of even some of the thought process of trying to do more like these outdoor events, or where maybe you can just come out and my big thing is it's all about the survivor. If the organization is accepting the check, I'm winning. But I also want those people that just want to participate.
Right.
Maybe I'm going to go out, for an example, I'm going to go out and putt 36 holes of putt-putt just because I want to participate knowing that what I did was for somebody. I mean, the neat thing is, and we had this last weekend on the puppet. I had probably out of 25 teams, half a dozen of them had their team name was because they were supporting somebody, Team Lanny, putting for, and that there sends that message to me that we're on the right track. It's still, I mean, this is 8 years in. My goal was to do this for 10 years and be done. Now,
my neighbor helps work that Pink out.
And that's
Project Pink.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about Project Pink is it's just.
Oh, they get a ton of people.
Oh my gosh, and that's why if we get a chance yet, and I also like to share some numbers.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that at the end there.
I mean, it's this were a long. I mean, it's when I started this 8 years ago. Project Pink impacted 2,700 people.
We're gonna go in 20 seconds.
And then in last year, it was over 12,000.
Oh my God!
So the growth of their organization.
Do you know what Diana Height?
This is Nelson in the Morning on Bluffs Country 106.5.
We've got quite the cast of characters in today as we are getting ready for the big Storytellers acoustic jam sessions with Chad Lee and friends, benefiting the Pink Ribbon Rodeo. That's happening Thursday night. Voodoo Lounge over in Omaha, custom rigging, helping put it together. $5 minimum donation is what they're looking for. It's all going to back Project Pink. And then, of course, we've got local legend, really, Bobby Wallen. Bobby, how are you today, buddy?
Very good.
Listen, is your skill at softball so great that you could take me, a worthless schlub who has never hit a softball in his entire life, and turn me into at least a beer league eligible guy that wouldn't get picked last?
Very easy. But the downfall is I can't do it. You have to want to do it.
Oh, dang it.
And the downfall is no matter how good of a coach you have, it's all up to the person. I mean, I can show you a few things, this and that and the other, but you have to be willing to want to learn, and you also have to put in a little effort on your own.
Right.
I can't take you out in 5 minutes to make you a home run hitter. No.
Right. And that's the thing I keep trying to get through to my daughter, because she's started down in band now. So she's 5th grade, which is early. I thought band was 6th grade for me, but it doesn't matter. It's not early. I would like her to be into music, but she's got to play the clarinet, which is what we have. Okay, this is what we own. All right, so we can play a clarinet for now, and we can work on it. You show me that you want to do music so bad that you will learn the clarinet, and then I'll go buy you whatever instrument you want. I just need to see that right there, that you're not going to go half in on it, and then, oh, thanks for the money, Dad, but I'm not going to use this stuff anymore. Or I'm not going to apply myself to this. So I kind of tell her that. It's like, look, she goes, I'm going to go practice my clarinet. How long do I got to practice? And I go, you got to practice. I go, the teacher says 15 minutes. I go, you should probably practice 20 then, maybe 30. And I go, if you don't want to, then you don't want to play this instrument. Like, you got to want to do it. You're never going to achieve anything great. And by accident, people have a little bit of acumen. Every once in a while, you'll mess around and have some raw talent. But raw talent only gets you so far if you don't put anything behind it.
That's like a Walter Payton one time said. Everybody said, you're not the fastest guy, the biggest guy. Why are you the best? He said, I want it more than anybody.
Right.
And no matter what sport you play or whatever, if you want it hard enough and you want to be challenged to yourself, and you got to think about it almost 24/7 if you want to be that good. Like, look at Caitlin Clark.
Right.
She shoots 1,000 shots a day there when she was in high school.
When I would, my daughter was last year she was in Y ball, right? She's in Y ball, and she's going to be in it again this year. Well, I would taken her out. Like, she liked the idea of there's this being this thing she would go and do. But then when it came time to doing it, it's like, all right, now we got to go and practice. Now we've got to go dribble the ball. We got to dribble with different hands. Like, I'm teaching myself basketball as I'm teaching it to her, because I watch enough football and I played football myself. But even that, I've only have a tentative grasp on. I know enough about football to have a conversation with men who know about football, and they wouldn't walk away going, this guy doesn't know anything about football. I can fake it, right? So I'm trying to teach her. I'm like, listen, I didn't say this to her, but I'm like, I don't want to be out here any more than you do right now, because I'm not a basketball fan. So this is a labor of love, because I love you. I want to be out here to make you better, and I'm going to learn to be better and smarter about it. But the one I kept going back to was, thank God I'm a fast fact guy. Okay. So this doesn't necessarily mean anything about basketball other than it involves one of the most famous basketball players to ever touch a ball, and that'd be Kobe Bryant. And what I know about Kobe Bryant is that after every game, he shot for 3 hours. So the game was done. Everybody left the arena, and then Kobe was in there shooting for 3 hours. 3 hours the man shot basketballs. There's a reason why he was Kobe. There's a reason why he's one of the greatest to ever play the game. So I said that to her as she's not wanting to dribble. I go, you're Penelope in Omaha, Nebraska right now, and you can't put a basket up. He's arguably the greatest player to ever play the game. He could never practice again and still be the best to do it. After a game, he practices for 3 hours. You're better than Kobe? In this, the year of the Mamba? 2024, you're going to say Mamba mentality? To hell with it? That's all I know. That's all I know.
You know, you bring that up, and it takes me back to my softball days, and I can remember playing against Bob, and you'd have an intense game, win or lose. Everybody else go out to the parking lot, drink some beers, and Bobby'd come out for a bit. But before that was done, you'd see Bobby back inside the complex watching a game or talking to different people or, giving advice. I mean, Bobby's giving me advice how to coach, how to umpire, which I didn't listen as much when he gave me advice as an umpire, but even as a player. I mean, like I said, coming up as a young kid at that level, I wanted to play for a guy like Bobby.
Sure.
I wanted to be that good. And just knowing Bobby, I'm a better person just in life just because of who Bobby is.
Right. Dude, you really got some magic whipped up over here.
Well, I don't know. I had to pay him.
It's like you get
a lot of payola going on.
You get that
right
Venmo there later. As long as you disclose it, it's legal. That's it. The government wanted their cut. You know what I mean? That was what the whole problem with payola was. So, Bobby, in addition to doing this for the love of the game, part of that you were able to do because you are a successful business owner in town. Tell us a little bit about Wall Optical. How long have you been over there?
Well, Wall Optical is established in 1937. My dad started it, and right out of high school in about 1975, I worked for the railroad in 74 and got laid off. So back in those days, there wasn't really an optician job. I went in and started working with him, and he found out I could bring in a ton of people. So that's kind of how I got started in the business. But the thing is, everything's kind of related. I think my sports background is why Wall Optical is so successful.
Sure.
I'm probably the most competitive person you'll ever meet in your life.
That's
and
awesome.
I refuse to lose to anybody. And that's kind of the
Imagine you walk into an eye care convention or something, and then there's the bad boy of eyewear. He's got like flames shooting up behind him. It's like, oh God, watch out, Bobby's here. He's not going to take no guff.
But that's how you build the business. And Wall Optical's been established, like I said, 87 years. So basically, you don't take anything for granted every year. You want to improve. We were voted the best optical in town every year, but the downfall is next year I still don't think, oh my gosh, we're going to win it again. You have to work for it
and want it the entire time.
Yeah. But what I love about Wall Optical the best is we have people that started when they were a kid. Now their grandfathers and all their family, their young kids, their grandkids all come in. You've seen generation after generation come to you, so you know you're doing something right. And trust me, in the optical business, I don't know how it got started, but you can go on almost any corner and get a pair of glasses. For them to keep coming to Wall Optical, it just amazes me. I love the business, and I can talk almost as much about Wall Optical as I can softball. So
I think my old man put him up to this because I didn't follow in the footsteps.
Bobby.
So he's like, sing the praises about how you are working for your father's business. And I didn't go, listen, I can't help it, Bobby. Paint fumes make me uncomfortable. Okay. They give me a headache.
Oh, yeah.
My old man paints houses. All right. And I couldn't be a house painter because I was it was polite company. I was a little B word. Okay. Like one time, to tell you how much of a little baby I am, we were painting the nursery, right? Painting the nursery. Rolling. It's the wintertime. Windows are shut. I walk in and I go, Dad, I don't know how you can just stand in these fumes with no window open and you just no mask on. And he goes, what fumes? Your kid could roll in here and lick this paint. I'm like, it's such, the vapors. I just couldn't do it. I just could not do it. So if only my dad had been an optometrist, maybe he worked with eyeballs. You got a lot of chemicals over there?
No.
See, no chemicals. No. Dad? You had to go paint houses?
No chemicals, but your thing is you have to be able to learn to listen because no two people are the same.
Never mind. That's not going to work
You
out.
have
either.
everybody's demands are different. You have to kind of figure out what type of job they want and what they do, and sometimes they'll tell you something and it's complete opposite what they really want. So you have to kind of dig in and figure it out.
Dude, there's nothing more intimidating or intense. Let me just tell you this quickly. I've only had to wear these I got old eyes, right? So I've only had to be a glasses wearer for 2 years at this point. I've been to 2 optical appointments. Yeah. When they do the thing where it's all like, it's 1 or 2 better, 1 or 2 better, 1 or 2, 1 or 2. I'm like, it's maybe 1. And so you finally decide on 1, and then he's all like 1 or 3, 1 or 3. Why weren't we dialed in before? Why is this so intense? Why is this thigh on my leg? Because I wasn't at Wall Optical. You know what I mean? Bobby doesn't touch the patient.
I do got one question for Bobby. Bobby, all the years that you've had Wall Optical and you played ball, any offered any umpires free appointments?
Oh my God.
Well, a lot of the teams they played against offered to pay for the umpire. There's an umpire named Chachi, and I think a lot of people want to pay for him.
We started to go.
There's no way that kid's still umpiring.
Oh yes,
he was bad 10 years ago.
Allegedly.
He's actually really good right now. But
See?
Well, good job, Chachi.
Yeah. We'll have more. We're going to come right back here. We'll still be on the Facebook live stream, facebook.com/Bluffs Country. But when we come back, we'll get everything all wrapped up and get you all the details you need to know about the Storytellers acoustic jam with Chad, Lee, and friends. Brother B is in. Of course, Bobby Wall from Wall Optical is in. And we're having some fun at facebook.com/Bluffs Country.
Or local.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised. Like I have go like this. And I can't show it on the radio, but people go, "Well, these glasses are loose." Well, if you can't move them with your goddamn hands, I want to say,
right?
Go, they're kind of loose. I said, "Well, do it without your hands."
Right, and they don't move at all.
Or when I'm like that, I'll say, well, "Is that where you like to wear your glasses?" I'll say, "Yeah." So I'll go ahead and measure them for the bifocal, and then I'll put them up there, and then make a note. I'll say, "He wants them on the bottom of his nose."
Right? No, I got the progressive. Mm-hmm.
I could do a comedy hour of things that people say to us in the shop.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Oh God, I'm driving down the street. I can't see signs. Do you think I need glasses? No, it's probably your damn hearing. I probably called and they'll just say something like, "Well, my eyes are really red and bloodshot. This, that, and the other. What can I do? Maybe come in and let's see what the problem."
Right. I'm not going to diagnose it over the phone.
I walk in with a guitar on my back. You play guitar? No, I just curious sitting around for the hell of it.
Here,
I want all the chicks to talk to me.
Yeah.
Just Wonderwall. just Champagne Supernova. He's classic. You know what I mean? Not just Wonderwall. I had this will be a nightmare for you. Maybe not. I had a coworker that she was so cheap. Okay. The cheapest. So she would wear the disposable one-a-days, right? She wouldn't take them out.
She went for a month.
Oh, if only a month.
Yeah.
She would go to her eye appointment, right? They'd get everything, and then they would hand her samples. And by samples, I mean 2 pairs.
Yeah.
She would ride out those 2 pairs of contacts till her next appointment. If one of them started to go red on her, she would finally give up the goat on that one and pull it out and then just put one in. She wouldn't even replace the set. So she would go back and forth.
Get a bad eye infection.
That this woman's cornea didn't come off, I have no idea why. I get bad eye infections, and I've never had a contact before.
We'd have people come in, and when you talk about cheap, and our doctor will take them back there and say, "You can't see with these glasses. What the hell are you doing?" And you need a huge change. Well, those are my husband's glasses or something.
Oh my God!
I won't even be close to what they say.
Well, see, I got that keratoconus, so I have to wear the gas permeables. So mine come out. I can't. I shouldn't be sleeping with them, and I tend to doze off of them. But yeah.
Oh yeah, hard contact you don't need to sleep with. But one good thing about the hard compared to the soft is they'll last you 5 or 10 years if you get them clean, things like that. You have to send them in and get them clean every now and then.
Yeah, it was when I first got it. It was a hard transition.
Oh yeah,
for me too,
it's like putting this in your eye.
Oh yeah, I mean it was. I bet it took me a good 2 years to be able to
Old school, like, hey, I lost the contact. We got to find it on the ground. Hard contact.
Yeah, but with the keratoconus, and Bobby can tell you, it's that or cornea transplant.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as I can wear them, yeah. And there's a lot of times it doesn't even dawn on me that I've got them in.
One time we picked up this guy and he played major college baseball, D1, and we took him out and he couldn't hit a slow pitch at all. And so it obviously had to be his eyes. So we took him in there. He goes, "Well, you're seeing good. It's just your focus." I mean, he was missing the ball this far. And he goes, "Well, I got to have glasses. I can hit the baseball, this, that, and the other. It's a different sport."
Right.
You like
It's
the
a
back of these
wild
shirts,
thing.
Brandon. You like the back of these shirts. Like every high school team of sports, I give them shirts, but I always put this on the back of every one of our shirts.
There you go.
Oh,
Champions.
that's what I'm talking about. God gives me PTSD. 1 or 2. 1 or 2. And that's like, I don't know. I don't know. Do it again.
It's not that big a difference.
4 or 2. 1 or 4.
Yeah.
And then he's just back and forth. Why do we jump back? Why did 1 even come back into this?
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't go back to 1. Now you're just messing with me. So I had cellulitis in my eye.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, you got it in your eye?
I had it in my eye. So look at that. So what you're seeing there, that is all of the white of my eye that you can see. It's so swollen, the white of my eye, you can see where the lens is because the lens doesn't swell. So that's the hard part of the eye, and all of the white is bending up around it.
I bet that was real fun.
Oh my God, it was awful. And then I go to this eye doctor in California. I go to this eye doctor, and he's like, "You could tell me maybe what's your eye pressure normally? What is a normal eye pressure?"
20.
Okay, that would have been nice to know. He goes, "Oh, your eye's at 27," and I go, "Is that out of 10? Like, is this about to pop on me, or are we just a little thick right now?"
I can imagine that couldn't have been comfortable.
Oh, it wasn't, and I went to an ER because I thought my eye was going to explode.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I've had cellulitis in my left ankle that's put me in the hospital for 8 days.
Oh, I couldn't go back to work for almost 2 weeks.
I was going to say, because
I was on like 6 different antibiotic eye drops and rotating them through, and like there was nothing he could do other than just drops. He's like, "We could pop that thing out."
I think the radio business.
On accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll tell you about that here in a second.
That's kind of life how everything does.
No joke. Like,
This is Nelson in the Morning on Bluffs Country 106.5.
so our buddy Bobby Wall here from Wall Optical, alongside Brother B from Pink Ribbon Rodeo and Chad Lee. Of course, Chad Lee, Storytellers Acoustic Jam. We're going to talk about that here in just 1 second again. But you asked me real briefly, Bobby, how I got into radio. And it was I was a knucklehead, and I had gone and worked for a couple of lube shops for a while because after my dad, again, the guy that you know, Dennis, he told me, if you just go to UNO for a year, then I'll pay for your full ride at Lincoln. But you got to go to UNO for a year because I don't want you going to Lincoln and then failing out with all your buddies. And I go, I'll show him. And so I just went and hung out with all my loser buddies in Lincoln and then failed out of UNO. I'm real good. You know what I mean? Duh. So later on, I worked a string of like counter jobs at like mechanic shops. Never quite fully a mechanic, right? I'm just dangerous enough I could change like disc brakes. So the last gig was a lube oil and filter place. I was working for a Valvoline, and I got blown out there, and that was just like the end. I got to go back to school. So I had the brilliant idea that I was going to make music videos, you guys. Okay. So I went to Iowa Western. This is 2004. Okay. MTV hasn't played a music video in probably 5 years at that point. VH1 has like a third channel that plays music videos, and YouTube's not invented for another year. So I don't know where I was going to put these music videos at, but I was certain that music videos were going to be a thing again, and I was ready, right? So I call up Iowa Western, and I get a hold of this woman. Her name was Vicky Jacoba, R.I.P., and she said, "Oh, yeah, what are you thinking about?" I said, "The TV program. I want to make music videos." She goes, "Did anyone ever tell you got a voice for radio?" And I go, "One other person has told me that. Yes. Tell me more."
They usually say you got a face for radio.
Right. No, I found that out later. I found that out later. Yeah, and I do still. So I go there and I say, "You know what, Vicky? I'm not going to sign up for the TV program. I'm going to sign up for the radio program." Yeah, there was 2 academic advisors that answer that phone line. One of them is the chair of the TV program, and one of them is the chair of the radio program. And I just so happened to not get Camille. Had Camille answered that day, I would have been on CB17, and I'd be probably miserable and carrying a camera around for Channel 3, setting up live shots in South Point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm live on location. Right, just like some numbskull. So no, that's how I got into radio, and then everything else has been an accident from there on. Yeah, everything, including my big break in country radio in Lincoln. I was working for another radio station in Omaha, and I wrote an email. There used to be a website where radio people could go and get jobs at. It's called All Access. And so you would go there, there's a job board, and there would be like, oh, apply for this job. No one would go to the Lincoln job. So they had posted it on what it was almost a blind ad, they called it. So you'd have no identifying information, except for just the email at the bottom. It said @broadcasthouse.com, right? So I'm working. I send off this email in the middle of the show, the morning show I'm supposed to be helping on. I'm like, oh, I work for this company called NRG Media, and I'm just such a great employee. And I noticed in your ad, you said you're a town that's been voted recently as one of the best places to raise a family. And I'm from a town like that, too. Blah, blah, blah. Bring, and I send it off, right, from my NRG Media email, which is another company here in town. I have my boss calls me the next day during the show, and he goes, "Oh, I heard you like country," and I'm like, "Nevin, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. No idea." He goes, "Oh, and frogs," and I go, "Nevin, I've got a show I'm supposed to be doing. I got to get my full attention," knowing I just applied to the show the other day, but I got to get my full attention. So later he comes to me and goes, "Did you apply for a place inside the company? Like, did you apply for a job at Froggy and Lincoln?" And I go, "Nevin, I think I would know if I applied at a job posting inside the company. Thank you." And he goes, "Well, Steve Albertson at Broadcast House said to me that he sent somebody from one of my guys sent me a." And I go, "What is Broadcast House?" And he goes, "Yeah, what we call the Lincoln Properties." And I go, "Then I definitely sent an email to him, and it really looks like I'm stupid." Because I talked all about how great a place NRG Media was to work at, and they should know about it. And they do. They get a check and everything. So, Bobby, unlike you, and everything's carefully calculated, everything for me has been a complete accident. So how can people get a hold of you if they want to tap into your softball knowledge?
They can call me at Wall Optical, or I can give my cell number.
Don't give your cell phone number out over the radio. And just contact at Wall Optical, or you can reach out to us as well. We'll get you over to it. See, what a salt of the earth dude. What are you most excited for Thursday night, Chadley?
Thursday night, just to hang out, and the atmosphere is going to be cool, and to be on stage with some other guys that got great talent, and just if you've never seen it, we call it In the Round. So,
that's really awesome.
It's not you're not in the round,
sure,
not a round stage or nothing, but it's meaning.
You're surrounded by the crowd.
Yeah, yes. You're just passing songs around, and telling stories about your songs and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
I have no idea what songs I'll play, but
I love that fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, I always do.
Where do you want people to find you at when they're outside of this? What's the best way? You want them on Spotify? Just follow you on Spotify, or where? YouTube.com/.
You know what? Just go to my website, chadleyband.com.
Look at this guy. He's multimedia.
Everything else is there. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Chad, I can't wait. It's so good to see you again, man. I haven't seen you in
good to see you too.
I'm excited to hear it on Thursday because I'm going to be there as well. Don't worry, we're going to get to you as well. Brother B, he's champing at the bit. He's like, "What? We're not going to talk about Pink Ribbon?" Yeah, we're going to talk about Pink Ribbon. It's the whole reason we're ever here is Pink Ribbon. But I just have to have my little man crush hug here with my guy Chadley.
I'm all for it.
I'm so excited to see the acoustic Storytellers jam with Mason Michaels and then Lucas Minor. Logan Meyer. Why do I see Logan? Logan Meyer's another guy that does local country music. So sorry, excuse me. No, Lucas Minor. And Mason Michaels. Yep. I just can't wait to meet Mason. Talk to us a little bit about, you got to get out of here, Bobby. Is that what you said? Go ahead, bud. I appreciate you being out here. You're in, man. Congratulations on all the good work you've done for the city. And thanks, Bobby. Brother B, talk to us. Take us out on Pink Ribbon Rodeo and why it's such an important charity to you.
It's as we stressed earlier, it's just I've never had anybody in my family with breast cancer. It was started, the inspiration came from a coworker. We've worked long and hard on many different events to get to where we are. I think a lot of it's driven by the numbers that the project produces. I think we were talking off the air earlier when we started this project that Project Pink had impacted 2,700 people the first year we were involved. In 2023, they impacted 12,472
That's amazing,
people.
man.
81 cents of every dollar goes into 3 major programs they have here. Everything that's raised here stays here. And then with all these different things, and you can go to projectpink.org and look up, but any program that Project Pink does goes to no cost to the survivor or the thriver.
That's great.
And at the end of the day, that's where the Pink Ribbon Rodeo wants to step in and host events to where you can just, if you're a survivor, if you're a thriver, if you just...
I like the thriver. I've never heard that before. Survivor and thriver.
It's it was that, and it's our events are based on, again, if you're a survivor, thriver, if you're somebody that just wants to get away from life for a few minutes, or if participating in something is your way of giving back, come to one of our events. Like I said, we got the acoustic jam Thursday night.
That's at the Voodoo Lounge over in Omaha.
I will let a secret in that in November we've got a bowling fundraiser.
Oh, okay, knocking them pins down.
And then, and I know you'll like this one. And in December, we're gonna have a pancake feed.
This is the guy.
So there's a lot going on.
He's a real hero.
And you can,
hold on. Sorry, Chad. No pictures. No flash photography for Chad. He's requested you stay outside there. Sorry, we won't open that door. We'll have you exit on the other door.
And if you have any questions about the Pink Ribbon Rodeo or any events that we put on, you can find us on Facebook, Pink Ribbon Rodeo, Facebook at Pink Ribbon Rodeo. Reach out if you want to volunteer. Most of our events we use volunteers as well. So we're not done by no means. We're just going to keep plugging along and keep raising money for Project Pink.
Yeah, man, I'm going to help keep getting the word out for you as well. I can't wait to be there. It's going to be Thursday night, 7:30 show, Voodoo Lounge, Custom Rigging Inc., of course, helping put it together as well. And got to say thank you for the Voodoo Lounge for putting up the space that everyone's going to be able to congregate to. Minimum $5 donation. But again, all of those proceeds staying right here for Project Pink, affecting people surviving and thriving. I like thriving. God almighty, thriving's good.
I want to end on one thing.
You end on whatever you want. This is your time, but this is the end right here.
And I think you'll like this. Yesterday, one of my sidekick, my Whitmac, she is a breast cancer survivor.
Sure.
I liked it yesterday. She was talking about, today kicks off breast cancer awareness. And her thing is, pink isn't a color. Pink is an attitude.
Oh, wow, my God. Pink is an attitude. Thanks so much, boys. I can't wait to be there Thursday.
Bluffs Country 106.5.
Bluffs Country 106.5. If you